Virgo, welcome to your weekly reading for September the 12th to the 18th. Let's get started for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. See what messages we have for you this week. Keeping in mind that these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone. So make sure you check out your other placements because you could have messages there as well. All right, Virgo, let's see. What is the energy around the week ahead for Virgo? Oh, what was that one? Change in the wind. Virgo. Serendipity. Happy just fell out. Okay. I like that happy is upright. Okay, good. Now, bottom of the deck is the Loyal Heart. I love that card. Okay. So having a look at this makes me feel like you're definitely experiencing some change that's outside of your control. So Virgo, as much as you can, you got to surrender to this because you don't have any control over it. This change in the wind is in the wind. We don't have control over certain things. Sometimes things change because other things have changed that have nothing to do with us. So this is a time where it's like, you almost have to surrender to this change and not fight against it, because you don't have any control over it. So if you fight against it, it's almost like just fighting against the wind, and it's not going to help you or serve you to do that at all. There actually could be some silver lining here for you. Something that you have no control over could be changing so that you don't get caught up in something that's not for you. So it's almost like divine redirection here. It's not rejection, it's divine redirection. So you might be sort of needing to consider the synchronicity of this serendipity that's right next to it. It's very interesting that these cards came out next to each other, because there could be something here that you as it's changing, you might sort of think to yourself, I don't accept this, what's going on here. But then you might very quickly realize that this is actually shifting to bring you to something that's going to make you very happy. This is a serendipitous event here that is like, it's very interesting because it's not as it appears. You know what I mean? It's really not as it appears. But it's going to bring you to this outcome that is for you. And I think that it's going to bring you surprisingly to this outcome that's for you. Something that not only is going to make you really happy, but it's also going to sort of have this long-term impact on something that you feel very loyal to in your heart. Now, this could involve a friendship, this could involve a romantic relationship, but it could also involve a goal that you've been setting that will finally succeed. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like there's a big shift here happening that you have no control over, and at first glance you might not realize just how good for you this change is, and that it's bringing you to this really happy and emotionally fulfilling place. And there will be success for something that's very connected to you, something that you're very devoted to and loyal to. And, it could be a very surprising week for you, Virgo. Very interesting. Something that was once in separation could be coming together again, is the other feeling I have. Let's see. What will your tarot cards reveal? There's that foundation that you're building. And you might not see that there needs to be some conscious collaboration here. Let's get the rest of your cards out to see the full story. But seeing that Three of Pentacles in reverse is interesting. Now we see the moon, and it was sort of hiding behind the High Priestess, as it does. Let's get your final card. There's Temperance. Okay, in reverse. So you gotta trust this. You gotta go with the flow here. There's the Knight of Swords in reverse, who is essentially bringing in this change in the wind. Okay, so this Knight of Swords here is, I always think he's the knight that comes marching in to be like, heads up, the tower is burning and it's on fire, because you can see the tower. You can see the tower right there. So he brings that energy towards you. Now, you might be resisting this, just like I said when I saw the change in the wind card. You might be trying to control something that's out of your control. Virgo, don't waste your energy trying to control this. It's not for you to control. And in fact, I feel like you have to actually just let it happen, because it's going to bring in that serendipitous synchronicity that's bringing a lot of success towards you and a lot of happiness. So if we sort of go back and look at that 3 of Pentacles that came out for you, you might be having a hard time working with others as you sort of build your foundation. You might be having sort of like you're trying to control how the foundation gets built. You might be trying to control how things happen, and you're trying really hard to push your own agenda, and it's difficult. You're having a difficult time because I think you're supposed to sort of just let things be for now. Let this change happen. Don't resist it. There's so much more to this than you realize right now, with that moon card in reverse really telling me that there's so much more going on beneath the surface here, and that there could be some fears blocking you. You might be hastily trying to sort of build a foundation as it's time for things to shift. Like, it's interesting. I'm almost getting this visual as like Virgo's trying to build a foundation and the wind keeps knocking it over. The wind keeps blowing your supplies everywhere. It's not time for this yet. It's right now, I think it's time for you to sort of see that you need to sort of let things be. And it might not be the time for you to hastily build a foundation because you're afraid. Fear is not your friend right now. Like, fear might be motivating you to take action where you actually need to surrender. You know what I mean? Like, again, I'm getting another visualization here of you sort of floating peacefully down a river and then realizing, no, I want to go the other way, and you're trying to battle the current of the river. You won't be able to do it. That is outside of your control. You're just going to have to enjoy that ride down the river until you arrive at a bank where you can safely jump off, and then you can go where you want to go. And I really feel like if you stay floating down the river, you're going to arrive somewhere that you didn't expect to find all this happiness and joy. So don't work against yourself this week. Sort of, if things are not moving with your push, then stop pushing and just be. You know what I mean, Virgo? It's interesting. Don't let fear motivate you to keep pushing past things that are outside of your control, because you won't have the ability to sort of excuse me, you won't have the ability to sort of process what's really going on here. And I feel like there could be a lot of misunderstandings. There could be a lot of anxiety. There could be some fear around things that you can't control, when really what you need to do is just tap into this knowledge, tapping into your higher self, tapping into that intuitive deep knowing, to sort of see that you can trust what's happening around you, even if you don't understand it. And even if the foundation is crumbling, and even if there's a lot of change right now, there's also a lot of serendipitous things happening behind the scenes that you can't see or know about just yet. You're just being guided to trust this wind. Trust the wind as it's blowing. Don't try to reverse it, because you can't. You know what I mean? This is very interesting. And then, seeing Temperance in reverse sort of goes along with everything I've been saying, is that you can't control the flow of how long it takes for water to move from one cup to another. You just can't. You can't. That's not on you. So right now, again, we're seeing that clash of sort of that oil and water trying to mix. It's not mixing. You need to sort of be more moderate instead of so extreme. Instead of being severe and impatient, you almost need to be calm and trusting, and you're really being guided to that. So it's interesting. Really, like, lean into whatever's happening right now, and know that all will be well. And know that you can trust this change, because you can't change it. This is something that's got to happen, and it's happening actually to bring you to something that is meaningful to you, something that you're devoted to, something that will bring you a lot of happiness and joy. But right now, you're too impatient. You want to arrive there tomorrow. This is a process. Or not even tomorrow. You might want to arrive there right now or yesterday. But right now, you just need to sort of focus your energy on trust. And don't let this frustration that you're feeling because things aren't moving on the timeline that you're in control of. Try to surrender to that frustration so that it doesn't consume you. You know what I mean, Virgo? This is interesting. Let's clarify some of these cards for you. Ooh, there we go. That was a funny shuffle. There we go. All right. Why is the Three of Pentacles here? In reverse. Oh, we got 2 cards for that. Yeah, see, there's the Death card. It's happening to transform you. This is going to be a transformative moment, and it's going to bring you to sort of a decision point about your direction. But right now, that is not what you need to worry about. Right now, just let this happen. Allow things to transform. You don't have control over this change in the wind, okay? So there's no point in sort of resisting it or saying we're going to turn this around. No, sometimes you just have to let the wind blow, and see where it carries you, and let it carry you. Let it carry you. Because right now you're carrying a lot of stress, burdens, fears, anxieties, worries, and you're just hauling them around. You're not helping yourself. There's so much more to this than you trying to hastily keep things at status quo. Let this end. Let this end. I feel like the wind is blowing to get you to lay down your burdens so that you can have more joy and happiness and feel success in the goals that you have for yourself. And it might even be relationship goals. Like, it's going to depend on what's going on for you as you're listening to this reading. Let's see, why is the High Priestess here? The Lovers in reverse. And I was just talking about relationships. So it's interesting. Something's out of balance here. Listen to your inner voice. Listen to that deep inner knowing, because whatever this wind is blowing you around for, it's to bring you to balance. And it might even be blowing you towards something that would be like really in alignment with you, where you can be very much in balance here with another. And to be authentic and to be happy and to see these moments where things that you're very loyal and devoted to are coming together. But right now, they're in reverse because it's like you're trying to control something that's out of your control. Let the wind blow as it will. Trust it. Let the river flow in the direction that it flows. Trust it. All will be well, Virgo. We can't always control everything. There's very, very few moments, in fact, that we have a lot of control over. We have control over ourselves. And that's what this reading is guiding you towards, is to be still in the midst of all this change. Still, trusting, patient, knowing all will be well. Temperance in reverse. There's the Queen of Pentacles, grounded. Grounded, solid, self-reliant, and trusting. The Queen of Pentacles understands the seasons. She understands that nothing is constant, except change, and that we must be adaptable and flexible and bend and move with the wind. And if we're not doing that, then we break. If you think about a tree blowing with as the wind blows and the tree moves with it, what happens when the tree can't move anymore? It breaks. And so it's very interesting. It's almost like you need to be grounded and flexible at the same time to allow this to transform. Trust this wind that's blowing. Bottom of the deck is the Emperor in reverse. So I know you don't trust it. I know that. I can feel that already. And that's why this reading is guiding you towards trust. Because sometimes as much as the Emperor wants to be in control and to lead things, sometimes it's outside of your control. And that is a huge lesson in and of itself. You're not in control of this one, Virgo. You're just going to have to get blown around a little bit and trust that you're being guided towards something that's going to be very fulfilling. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading. I hope it's been helpful. I look forward to reading for you again soon. Sending you so much love and light, my friends. Take care.